recently put a poll up on YouTube to see what kind of content people would like to see, and by far and away the most popular answer was for more routes and guides. And I think it's because quite a few of the people who watch my channel are new into cycling, and I guess you're curious about different routes that can be done around Sydney. So I thought, why not give you guys the most popular cycling route in Sydney, which is Centennial Park. In this video, I'm going to show you how I get to Centennial Park from the city, what Centennial Park is like, and also a few little different variations you can do at Centennial Park just to switch things up a little bit. Alright, let's get into it. Now unfortunately, the bike lane in Sydney is not fantastic. What you'll find is there's a higgledy-piggledy mishmash of bike lanes, shared paths, and just straight up riding on the road. But what I'm showing here in the footage is the way that I get to Centennial Park, but I'll also provide an alternate which has a lot more bike lane. There's two main ways to get to Centennial Park from the city. The one that I'm showing in this footage is the one that I usually go, which is up King Street, down College Street, onto Oxford, which leads you onto Flinders Street, and which becomes Anzac Parade. Now this way is really fast because it's a mix of riding on the bus lane and just the road. And in the morning when there's not much traffic, you can probably get to Centennial Park in less than 10 minutes from the city. Now I will show you an alternate way right now, and this one utilizes a bit more cycle path and quieter roads. So you start off on the Kent Street Cycleway, you take that cycleway on to the Liverpool Street Cycleway. Now from here you head onto Oxford Street, where you will have to ride on the road, but you can ride in the bus lane. You get onto Flinders, and instead of that becoming Anzac, you turn left into Moore Park, and you take this back street here through the Moore Park Entertainment Quarter. This is a very common route though, so it'd be quite uncommon not to see other cyclists making their way to Centennial Park, and I recommend just riding whichever route that you feel the safest doing or within your abilities. From the heart of the CBD, Centennial Park is about 5 kilometers out of the city, and this is a fantastic place to ride because it has perfect pavement quality, it's a nice loop and relatively flat. So what you'll find is a lot of people go to Centennial Park for their training, group rides, and a lot of experienced cyclists ride there as well because they have a little bit of a chop off. So Centennial Park definitely caters for all levels of ability of cycling, and there's even a dirt loop there that you can do too if you've got a gravel or a mountain bike. Centennial Park is 3.7 kilometers long with a total elevation of 25 meters. That's actually a little bit there because there's a few rises and falls throughout the park, but the main rise is right here where the segment starts and ends. We call this the horse gates, since that's where the stables are, which are near the Centennial Park. When you're at Centennial Park, there is an exclusive bike lane on the left-hand outside side, and so you're always separate to the cars, so you have to travel on the inside. One of the most popular segments at Centennial Park is the 5-lap TT. So 5 laps brings it to just under 19 kilometers. Now, when I first started cycling, we had an elusive goal of getting under 30 minutes for the 5-lap TT, which means you need to average a bit, I think around 34-35 kilometers an hour. Now, that's when I first started riding, and obviously I'm a bit more experienced now, so that goal has changed. But some people can absolutely rip it around here, and I think the fastest time for the 5-lap TT is by Jack Bennett, which is around 22 minutes. Centennial Park is the perfect setting to practice group rides as well as do solo efforts. If you're riding with a group, you can practice your pace lines in peace without interruption of traffic lights and traffic. And if you're riding by yourself, you can just ride at your steady zones or do efforts. So I think Centennial Park is probably one of the most popular cycling destinations in Sydney. And as you can see from the footage here, it is absolutely packed with cyclists. Now I know what you're thinking, riding around in circles for hours on end is probably boring, so I'm going to offer up one alternate right now of another way that you can ride at Centennial Park, which is affectionately called the cat ears. But essentially the cat ears adds a segment off to the side of Centennial Park where you get a nice hill and then a descent. This has gained a lot of popularity recently with the hill chop that's on Thursday nights. The cat ear segment is about 2 kilometers long, 40 meters elevation, and it starts with a climb all the way up to Oxford Street and then a steady descent down back onto the Centennial Park loop. Now to get on to the most important topic of this video, where can you get a good coffee and a pastry? Centennial Park has 2 cafes, the most popular of which is Greenhouse, and if you're looking at this footage right now, we're passing it right about now. Greenhouse is crazy popular, and mainly because it's super convenient because it's right here on the main cycle path. But if you can be bothered to travel a little bit further, I've got some recommendations for where you can get a better coffee. I'm going to give you 4 different recommendations, one to the north, south, east and west, so no matter which direction you leave Centennial Park, you'll be able to find something yummy to eat. To the north is Funkeskoket, which is one of my all-time favourite cafes. It's a Swedish cafe, but it's run by Koreans, and they make these awesome little pastries as well as really nice coffee. The decor is almost like an upmarket IKEA, and I love just sitting here in the side of the road. It's really nice and peaceful and a great way to enjoy your morning. To the east is the one and only Taga. Taga is super famous for their Portuguese tarts, but they also make some other really good baked goods, so I definitely recommend going there. And they actually have another location in Alexandria. To the south is La Belle Baguette. This is one of the first cafes I started going to when I was riding, because I would go there after La Perouse. When you get there in the morning, you'll be greeted with the smell of freshly baked goods coming straight out the oven, and if you're lucky, you get a warm batch. My favourite item there is probably their almond croissant, and sometimes they even do a chocolate and almond croissant, which is pretty nice. And last but not least is La Vie en Belle, which is in Surrey Hills, which is to the west, which is back towards the city. This location here is super convenient on Bourke Street because it's a close ride to Oxford Street, so if you're working in the city, it's really easy to get back to work. I really recommend the snails here. The raisin snail is awesome. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching this video. If you're one of those people that voted for more guides and routes, this one's for you. Leave a like and a comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Have a safe ride, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.